Tiger or via the web at sportscallauburn.com. We'd appreciate it if you'd give us a phone call. Let us know what's on your mind. Let us know what you'd like us to talk about. You can check us out on our Facebook page, or you can just send us a tweet at SportsCallAU. Randy, a lot going on right now in the world of sports. The Tony Stewart thing is still the situation. I don't really know what to call it, the accident, the incident. It's still going on. Investigations are still happening. It's still too early to tell whether charges will be brought. The young man's father, Kevin Ward Sr., came out today, and by what he said, basically he said this should never have happened. Tony Stewart is a very experienced driver. He's the best driver on the track. There's no, if he didn't see Kevin Ward, I don't think that's an excuse. Everybody else saw him. He probably saw him, surely saw him too. So it's just still a lot of questions to be answered.
We're going to have Trip Walton on with us in the second hour of the program, and Trip will be able to run down some of the legal ramifications that we'll have going on with that case. And you and I talked before the program, and I'm not sure how you prove what's going through somebody's mind. Am I off there? I mean, if I'm sitting in front of someone and I'm trying to convince you that Tony Stewart really wanted to move up that track or didn't make any move to get away from, the problem is he's back on the track. Get off the track. I think that's the only. But his father comes out today, and he said, what exactly did the father say today, Andy?
Basically, I'm not quoting him, but he did say that he mentioned that the guy might be looking at 10 years in prison. So, speaking about Tony Stewart. So, obviously, he feels like there's some kind of payment to become due. He is culpable, in some way. I think there's a lot of blame to go around. And look, it's the man's father. Obviously, he's looking for some sort of answers. Somebody, his son has lost his life. He feels like maybe it didn't have to happen, and it didn't. But whether somebody should pay for that in a prison somewhere, that's to be decided.
Andy, it's a busy time of year for you and I with Sports Call, with Sports Blitz as well. But we were on the road today over in Montgomery, AHSA Radio Network. We had media days for the Alabama High School Athletic Association. Let me tell you, and you and I are 18 years and 20 years removed from high school. I am blown away every time I get around a group of 4 or 5 of the best football players at high schools in our local area or throughout the state of Alabama. If you haven't been around Opelika's 4 or 5 prospects that they have on that team, you really need to. I'm going to push out a photo that I took of those. I think it was either 4 or 5 of them, but I'm going to guess on an average 6'2", 6'3" is the smallest, upwards of 250 up to 330 pounds. It's unreal. I asked Coach Sav over there today, I said, were we anywhere near this big 18, 20 years ago? And he said, it really is. It's something in the water going on in the state. But we had a great time. That'll be a great matchup in our local region, Champions Challenge, which will be Friday night, next Friday night. They'll kick it off. It'll be Opelika against Carver. If you like high school football in this region, not much better talent there. Jason Caldwell was with us. We're hoping to schedule, just preliminarily, we'll pass that along. Jason Caldwell will be a regular guest here on Sports Call Auburn moving forward, hopefully once a week. And we can't thank him enough for all that he has done for our programming over the years, even back over to Sports Blitz. But linebacker over at Carver, Jason mentioned, I'll throw his name out there here shortly, but a linebacker over in Carver, which will be a junior this year, Jason expects to be one of the top 10 prospects in the country, and he looked the part. But I enjoy recruiting, and I enjoy high school sports, and when you get to go over there and see these guys, you understand why Auburn and Alabama are both ranked in the top 5.
Well, that's the future. Yeah, these are the guys that are going to be wearing those uniforms in just a few years, and it's a great opportunity to get to know them and see what they're all about. And like you said, they seem to get more and more impressive every year. And you wonder, where is it going to end? How much further can we go? How much in better shape can they be? But certainly more things on the agenda for this afternoon. Sad day in sports call history. Yesterday, apparently, the Clippers have been sold. We can't talk about Donnie Sterling anymore. So it's probably good, that happened. I know that everybody there in the state of California is kind of breathing a sigh of relief. But it seems like maybe this has been put to bed. We talked about this before the show. We still don't quite know how they were able to take his franchise away from him with something that was really technically illegal. But it has happened, and no doubt he will appeal. But I don't know. This just has a feeling of closure.
Legal ramifications again. We'll ask Trip Walton in the second hour. There's so many things going on in the world of sports that are over my head when it comes to legal matters, and we'll be able to catch up with him. We'll have Brian Matthews on also, third segment here of the first hour. Another one like Jason Caldwell that does an outstanding job out there trying to get news at Auburn practice. From what I hear, it's tough to get any news out of Auburn's practices these days. I guess as a fan, you like to hear that. Coaching staff keeping it pretty hush-hush, keeping the players pretty hush-hush, and any visitors to practice at a minimum. So we'll see. But we're not far from Auburn football, and I think we're all thrilled that is coming. 888-9-TIGER-9, 334-887-3401. Our question of the day is brought to you by Lee Marketing Group. And, Andy, I thought you came up with a great one today. How excited are you for the SEC Network launch? It's right on the horizon. And which parts of the SEC Network are you most looking forward to? I'll start with you, Andy.
Well, yeah. The SEC Network will launch tomorrow in the middle of our show, actually, at 5 o'clock Central Standard Time. So August 14th, that is tomorrow. We've all been looking forward to this. There's been questions of who would pick up this network, who wouldn't. We all pretty much in this area, you have access to it. At some point, you may have to change your provider, but it's available. So I'm really looking forward to it. I'm not, I don't think this is something that's going to be something that I watch 24 hours a day. But this apparently what you can look forward to tomorrow is that they're going to start off with what they call the SEC Now Live. They're going to go to all 14 campuses. They're going to have people there, reporting live. Reese Davis will be in Auburn tomorrow reporting. So you'll be able to see, I believe, in this initial episode, maybe 3-hour-long SEC Now Live, there'll be 21 anchors, reporters, and analysts in studio and reporting from live campuses. So they are going all out. This is going to be a massive unleashing of the SEC Network. I'm looking forward to not so much the football games, and I mentioned this to you before the show. Obviously, Auburn and Arkansas will play in that first week. South Carolina and Texas A&M will play on Thursday night. But those are just kind of the ones to whet our appetites. You're going to see a lot of, Vanderbilt versus Temple kind of games on the SEC Network. So I'm looking at the other kind of programs that they're going to have. They're going to do a special on Sean Coleman about his, journey back to playing football. Looking forward to stories like that. Looking forward to watching some old games. I love, to watch history of ESPN Classic had Auburn versus Tennessee 1990 on a week ago. I was at that game, but I had forgotten how many. We scored, I think, 4 times. We scored 3 times on 4th down in the fourth quarter or in the second half. So I'd kind of forgotten that. But I love those old games like that. Looking forward to that. Probably the most looking forward to the programming that maybe outside of what they're going to show as far as athletics.
888-9-TIGER-9, 334-887-3401. I look back and I think about the SEC Network, and I saw an interesting tweet today. Think back to 1984, 30 years ago. What if you were to tell the SEC fans at that time that we were going to kick off SEC season on a Thursday night with their very own SEC Network with Texas A&M taking on South Carolina? What kind of reaction would you have gotten at that time?
Blank faces. Back then when we grew up, you'd be lucky to have 2 Auburn games on a year. Just on TV. Now they have their own network. They're not only going to be able to see football, but they're going to show baseball games, basketball games, volleyball games. You're going to be able to see probably more than you ever wanted to see from the SEC. I think that's a great point. I hadn't really, when you think about that, I guess that can probably be said, what if you handed an iPad to somebody back in 1984, their head would explode. You know that. But yeah, can you imagine them talking about Texas A&M taking on South Carolina on a Thursday night on the SEC Network?
You know, the things that I love the most, I love 30 for 30s. I love the SEC Storied. I've watched the Manning special 25 times at least. The only show that I've watched more than that is Step Brothers probably, and every time that it comes on, I watch that or Anchorman. But SEC Storied, every time the Manning one is on, I can't turn it away. And there's so many great ones coming out. And when you've got Barkley and Thomas and Bo Jackson and the story that's coming out on the SEC Network based around those three at Auburn, and that story, it's going to be unique. But those are the ones that I enjoy. And I really am looking forward to seeing some old games outside of the random Kentucky versus South Carolina matchup from 1996 that we have caught on Sports South over the years. Look, I've watched bits and pieces of that because it's of interest. It's back in a time when you knew some of those players. But, Andy, I mean, I really want to see the Auburn-Tennessee. I want to see the games that we all remember that mattered the most and have those come out.
Definitely. And we're going to have the producer of that, Bo Barkley and the Big Hurt, on next Thursday. Hopefully, that's the night that it premieres, and hopefully we're going to catch up with him and talk to him about how that all came about and the makings of that and what he took from it. So that'll be very interesting.
A feature that I'm looking forward to in the first month of the season is Sean Coleman. We knew that it would be a big story this year, not only in the SEC but throughout the country. Sean Coleman fighting leukemia, winning the battle, and moving on and having a starting spot on the offensive line in replacement of a top 2 pick in the NFL draft. It's an outstanding story. We hope that his story moves on past that to being an all-SEC and an all-American caliber player. And if you've seen Sean Coleman, you'd be remiss to say he doesn't look like he's been sick a day. He's ready for action, and we're looking forward to watching him on the field on Saturdays.
No doubt. Has an opportunity to be the best story in college football. Hopefully everything goes right with that. He can avoid injury. Auburn needs to avoid injury all the way across the board. They've had enough of that already. Beginning tomorrow, there'll be 12 shows of Sportscall before that Saturday Auburn kickoff between Auburn and Arkansas on August the 30th. So we are going to take those 12 shows and for one segment preview every team on Auburn's schedule. We're going to begin with Alabama tomorrow and work our way up, culminating that Friday, talking about and previewing Arkansas, who Auburn will be taking on. So that should be a lot of fun. Hopefully we'll bring you a little information about all those teams. Auburn, people keep talking about Auburn's got one of the toughest schedules in the country. So we'll look at that, look at each individual team and see how Auburn matches up with them. We're going to go ahead and take our first break of this Wednesday edition of Sports Call. Andy and Randy here with you until 6 o'clock. Be sure to join us in the next segment right after this. Sports Call brought to you by Always Money.
They say business can get downright dirty. At Advanced Disposal, we couldn't agree more. That's why we offer dedicated solid waste and recycling services designed specifically for business. We work hard to leave your business a little cleaner than we found it. Whether the job is big or small, we do all the heavy lifting so you can focus solely on your customers, because that's what business is all about. Advanced Disposal, always working to keep your business and community beautiful. Visit advanceddisposal.com or call your local facility and discover our full range of commercial services today.
Ladies and gentlemen, the mayor of Whatever USA.
Thanks for coming. This summer, Bud Light is creating a town called Whatever USA, the most marvelous, spectacular town for people who are up for whatever. And you could come. I will now take a few questions. Yes, you in front.
Is Whatever USA a real town?
It's as real as this voice-enhancing software. Next question. Are you up for whatever?
Yes.
Perfect. Then audition at upforwhatever.com or your local participating Bud Light retailer. You. Kind of people is Bud Light looking for? We want yes people. Let's do it people. And this seems slightly unorthodox, but sure, why not people? Up, my ride's here. Bring it on, professional Boy Scout.
Bud Light, the perfect beer for whatever happens. Bud Light Whatever USA video contest open to U.S. residents 21 and over. No purchase necessary. Ends August 31st, 2014. Visit upforwhatever.com for official rules, entry, prices, and details. Void where prohibited.
Stop by your local Bud Light retailer and ask about all the great Bud Light promotions in your area. Bud Light, the perfect beer for whatever happens. When you're over 21. Are you up for whatever?
Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Beer, 80 St. Louis, Missouri.
Auburn Bank has money to lend because you have financial goals, a home to buy, kids to raise, a business to grow, your children's education to pay for. For what matters most to you in your life, our experienced, willing lenders are ready to help you achieve your goals. Auburn Bank, since 1907, your partner, your neighbor, your friend. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. Online at auburnbank.com.
A new school semester is almost upon us, so it's time for a math lesson. Low price guarantee plus largest selection equals what? That's right, the Big Blue Bookstore on South College Street. With the lowest prices on the largest selection of AU textbooks. The numbers all point to Big Blue. Throw in easy access, plenty of parking, and extended hours during the crowded book buying season. And it doesn't take Einstein to figure this equation out. Get to the Big Blue Bookstore. Get your books and get out with more money in your wallet and less stress on your brain. That's the Big Blue Bookstore, 1655 South College Street in the Tiger Crossing Shopping Center.
Auburn Links is your home for great golf. Just off exit 51, Auburn Links features a beautiful layout with Bermuda grass greens and rolling fairways, all right next to Parkinson's Mill Creek. For the last 20 years, Auburn Links has been providing Lee County with the best golfing experience around whatever your skill level may be. Looking for a fun family activity? Auburn Links has great group rates and membership specials for everyone, and their weekday rates now include Fridays. Be sure to follow Auburn Links on Facebook and Twitter for special deals and limited time offers. Auburn Links on Shell Tumor Parkway. Call 887-5151.
If you're heading to a party, having a party, or on your way home from a party, TK's convenience stores are guaranteed to have everything you need. Drinks, chips, and a case or two of your favorite cold refreshment should do the trick, right? You don't need to take time out of your nights and weekends to find a parking spot, locate what you need, and then wait in line forever. TK's believes fun should happen much more quickly. Not to mention you can fill up your tank while you're there too. TK's convenience stores, always there when you need us.
Everyone knows the Honey Baked Ham Company is the most delicious ham around. But did you know that we have all the perfect dishes for your summer get-together as well? Hey, this is Crystal with Honey Baked Ham on Gateway Drive in Opelika. Honey Baked is now offering barbecued ribs and fresh barbecued pork roast, perfect for your family reunion or outdoor party. With sides like broccoli rice casserole, green bean casserole, macaroni and cheese, and more, stop by Honey Baked to get everything you need when the family is coming into town. Call us today at 741-8411. Honey Baked Ham, perfect every time. We guarantee it.
Visit exotic destinations, Alaska, Europe, Hawaii, and more on a land trip or cruise. Contact Ruta Lisa Anderson at Cruise Planners today. Why do the planning when it can be done for you? Visit exclusivecruiseplanners.com or call 844-722-6342.
Welcome back, everyone, to another edition of Sports Call. Andy and Randy here with you until 6 o'clock, taking your phone calls at 1-888-9-TIGER-9 toll-free or locally at 334-887-3401. Auburn takes the day off today from the practice field, but a lot happening. You're seeing the Tigers do a lot of evaluations in the first 12, 14 practices. Now you're going to see them trim things down and start to focus on Arkansas. And really, Gus Malzahn says that 8 to 10 freshmen or transfers are going to be the ones that are going to be able to help Auburn.
You're not surprised. There at the top of the list, Derek Moncrief back there at the safety post. From day one, I guess, he has wowed the coaches and has had a starting nod. And, you know, I like to look down at the names that are behind him because they are youth as well, so you got to know that they're impressing also. Not surprised whatsoever to see Stephen Roberts from Opelika High School with an opportunity, he and Nick Ruffin, to have a chance to back up Derek Moncrief. Moncrief, a couple of years out of high school, played in a state championship game for Prattville. He's a 6'2", 6'3", 215, 220-pound kid back there at safety. He's the real deal. He looked the real deal. He looked the part when we were able to see him in that state championship game. But for me last year in the Alabama-Mississippi All-Star game, I like seeing the kids up close and personal. Stephen Roberts looked the part also. Marlon Humphrey got all the glory. He was on the opposite side at corner. I thought Stephen Roberts looked like his equivalent on the other corner for that team this past year. So he comes in ready to play. Opelika is just pounding them out right now. They got one talented athlete after another. So I'm excited to see Stephen in the rotation potentially.
Definitely, and he's also in the punt return rotation. So he's still fighting for that job, has not been decided yet. So a great athlete, good speed. So it'll be interesting to see. He obviously definitely looks like a player that can help Auburn. A guy late in the recruiting class that just kind of came in maybe as a late offer, but it looks to be maybe the surprise of this class. Markel Boston, another 6'2", 200-pound safety prospect. He looks like he's going to be able to help Auburn this year. He got banged up a little bit, was wearing a boot at the fan day, but Gus Malzahn said he's going to be okay, just a little banged up. So Auburn, again, we talked about the last couple of days, the secondary has gone from a place of, we were taking Ryan White, a guy who had never even played safety a day in his life, and then starting him against Texas A&M because we had no depth. Now we've got depth coming out of our ears. And now we've got guys 3 deep that we feel comfortable about.
888-9-TIGER-9, 334-887-3401. A great way to get in touch with us also is Sportscall AU. That's our Twitter tag. Running back core is still the talk of the town over in Auburn to me. Quarterback play is essential and going to be exceptionally good, I think, for Auburn this year. But when you watch a Gus Malzahn offense, it's the running backs that are getting the load of the carries, and that running attack that led the country in rushing over 330 yards a game last year, it's loaded. And Rock Thomas is getting a lot of praise for his first couple of weeks on campus and what he's been able to do in practice so far. Peyton Barber, he's going to have to get some carries. I still point to Corey Grant and Cameron Artis-Payne. How do they fit in? Corey Grant, I watched a little bit of the replay of Texas A&M a couple of nights ago, and if you remember Corey down the left sideline just trucking the corner or the safety that came over to try to hit him, and Brett and I and Jason Caldwell were talking about that today, didn't look like a outside the tackles guy to me when I saw him truck that guy. So Corey Grant, once he gets into the second level, into the secondary, it's bye-bye. That is one thing that I like to see, but tons of talent back there in the backfield, and that's a commodity, I think, here for the Tigers this year.
Yeah, the chatter has already begun again about Peyton Barber. All we heard during the spring was how good he looked. All we heard last year with him on the scout team was how good he looked. A combination of power and elusiveness. Derek Moncrief even talked about, he said, look, he'll either run by you or he'll run over you. And you got to be prepared for that. And they talk about him, and just what a tremendous-looking running back he is. And that's all we heard. And then, of course, in the spring game, he gets hurt on the first play. So you hope maybe I always get nervous about this. I hope this is not a Mario Fannin type situation. All you heard in practice for 3 years was this guy's going to be great. He's got everything. He's got the size. He's got the speed. He's got the moves. He just could never – I don't know. He just never worked out for him. So maybe it was injuries, whatever. But fumbleitis. Yeah. Cameron Artis-Payne had a trouble hanging on to the ball last year. Is that going to be a problem? Has that been shored up? Auburn fumbled the ball 30 times last year. Only lost 11. Is that going to be a problem? Those running backs not only have to be dynamic running the ball, they got to hang on to the ball.
888-9-TIGER-9, 334-887-3401. Did you see the catch, Duke Williams?
I have not seen it.
It was pulled down quickly, but it was up long enough with the era of social media that we live in for many to get a hold of that yesterday and to pass it along to all of us. And it was a beautiful one-handed grab on a ball that I think was a little high and behind Duke Williams. And to think that he potentially and probably is the second best talent that we have at the receiving corps this year should be scary for opponents. It's going to be as fun as I can remember in my lifetime on the offensive side of the ball. I can't imagine, knock on wood. Last year was beautiful to watch, but this year with the extra talent that I think that we have coming in, and a second year under his belt for Nick Marshall. Watch out.
Absolutely. We keep talking about it, and everybody keeps making reference to the wide receivers and how they have an opportunity to be the best maybe combination that Auburn's ever had. Just the other day we were talking about Melvin Ray. Melvin Ray's kind of a forgotten guy. He was the guy that made a huge play in the national title game. They said he's had probably the best spring he's ever had since he's been at Auburn, because he's only been at Auburn for a couple of years. But you got Tony Stevens, Mark Davis, So there's so many guys. You add in a freshman like Stanton Truitt. There are weapons galore on the field. So Auburn has no excuse not to be able to move the ball and move the ball effectively.
Auburn fullback Gage Batten, he looks to be injured. Don't know exactly. Do you know exactly how long he'll be out?
No, but it doesn't sound good. I mean, they when you say there's a possibility he may miss the season, that's not good.
No, Brandon Fultz is there. So how does that play out? It was going to be a tough position to fill, losing an outstanding player in Jay Prosh and his blocking abilities from that H-back position. You do bring in a dynamic with Fultz to catch the ball out of the backfield, but it's going to be a loss back there blocking, and I think maybe Gage Batten was where we were going to look to fill a little bit of that void.
Yeah, definitely. I think he fit into that really fullback mentality that Jay Prosh, did so well in last year. Auburn had Gus Malzahn, his offense uses an H-back, so you're coming out of the backfield anyway, and C.J. Uzama, he can be considered an H-back at times. You have some walk-ons that are now filling those roles. That always scares you a little bit when you throw around walk-ons filling in important positions. But I really think Brandon Fultz, this is his time to shine. I think he was going to be the starter anyway, but Auburn needs a little depth at that position, needs to find somebody to just spell him a little bit.
One of the offensive linemen that may get a little chance this year, and I don't think either one of us are surprised, Braden Smith. Looks like a lumberjack. Saw the picture again today as we were over for media days with he and Sean Coleman standing side by side. If you could convince anyone that this guy is a true freshman in college, I don't think you'd believe it. But Braden Smith is wowing there on campus with Coach Grimes.
Yeah, he's practicing at tackle right now, but they say they have no qualms about moving him to guard if they need him to. Say he can do it. They physically, I don't think there's any question physically he's ready to play right now. Now it takes a little bit to absorb the playbook and to get into the chemistry of the offensive line and all that kind of thing. So that's one thing holding him back. But J.B. Grimes said he has 7 attributes he looks at for an offensive lineman. He said he's already got 6 of them. And if you have all 7, you're a first-round NFL draft pick. He's already got 6. He just graduated high school last year. So, and you throw in the fact that he looks like, again, just a physical, unbelievable specimen. And people are excited about Braden Smith with reasons to do so. Going to go ahead and take our mid-hour break. There's more Sports Call to come presented by Auburn Urgent Care right after this.
Ever wondered what LMG can do for you? The possibilities are endless.
LMG offers custom apparel and promotional products, any type of signage and vehicle wraps, web design and internet marketing, video production, paper products, and more. Visit us online at leemarketing.net. 3 locations to best serve you: Madison Street in Alexander City, Highway 280 in Dadeville, and Frederick Road in Auburn. LMG, success by design.
It's always something. Your car needs a new tire, tuition is due. It's down to the wire. Cheerleading outfits, soccer shoes, football pads, or annual dues. Nellie's in band. She needs a trombone. Good golly Molly, you need a loan. Jimmy broke his arm. He needs a cast. You need money, and you need it fast. When life comes at you, Always Money can help you through. It's easy, convenient, friendly, and fast. You'll get the cash you need the day you need it. So stop by or visit alwaysmoney.com. How much can we loan you today? Borrowers often use payday loans over a period of months, which can be expensive.
From cruises and resorts to land tours and completely packaged vacations, Rutalisa Anderson of Cruise Planners specializes in all types of travel and will create an unforgettable vacation just for you. Visit exotic destinations, Alaska, Europe, Hawaii, and more. Visit exclusivecruiseplanners.com or call Ruth Lisa Anderson of Cruise Planners today, toll free at 844-722-6342. When you change the life of a man, you change an entire family. The Reprieve helps men with alcohol and drug problems that have had multiple treatment attempts. The Reprieve is a Bradford Health Services innovative recovery program. The year-long Reprieve offers testing, evaluation, and mentoring for employment, guides men through the 12 steps, and provides life skills training for balanced, healthy living. Get a Reprieve on life at 256-496-0406.
Auburn Urgent Care, located on South College in Auburn and on Enterprise Drive in Opelika near Tigertown, offers convenient solutions to your health care and occupational medicine needs. We offer workman's compensation injury care, and we have a certified DOT medical examiner on staff. It's not about speed. It's about the quality of care. We're open 7 days a week, 7:30 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Friday, and 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. on weekends in Auburn, and 8:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday in Opelika. Walk-ins are welcome. Auburn Urgent Care. 334-821-3221 in Auburn or 334-749-9191 in Opelika. Visit us online at auburnurgentcare.com. Proud of our past, confident in our future. And for your primary health care needs, visit Family Health Clinic at 1456 Opelika Road in Auburn. 334-826-8951. Open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Little Cheaper says it's the summer sale you've been waiting for. It's the summer clearance event at Carl Gregory Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Columbus. New Ram truck, Chargers, Arcs, Journeys, 200s, Grand Caravans, Wranglers, Cherokees, Grand Cherokee, and many more have been drastically discounted for this annual event. Get new 2014 Ram 1500 starting at just $21,488, or a new 2014 Dodge Avenger for only $14,990. Even get a new 2014 Jeep Wrangler for just $24,995. Carl Gregory Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Columbus even has the all-new 2015 Chrysler 200 in stock. 0% financing available. 0 payments for 90 days. Want more? Bring us your trade, and Carl Gregory will try to pay you top dollar for it. You might even be able to get more than you ever thought possible for your trade. It's the annual summer clearance event going on now at your locally owned dealer. Carl Gregory Chrysler Dodge Jeep Rams, 2 giant locations. Victory Drive and the North Lake Auto Complex. Prices after all applicable rebates. All prices exclude tax, tag, title, and lemon law fees. Interest, if any, accrues from date of purchase on approved credit. Not available on internet pricing.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Call on this Wednesday afternoon. Sports Call brought to you by Auburn Urgent Care. Auburn Urgent Care offers convenient solutions for your healthcare and occupational medicine needs, including workman's compensation injury care and certified DOT medical examinations. With locations on South College and in Tigertown, visit them online at auburnurgentcare.com. We are efforting, as we speak, to get in touch with Brian Matthews from auburnsports.com. Hopefully he'll be joining us shortly. One situation, Randy, that I think everybody kind of assumed was that the punting situation was all sewed up in the spring with Jimmy Hutchinson. That does not appear to be the case now. Daniel Carlson, who is the field goal kicker, looks like he may be pulling a Damon Duval and pulling double duty.
You know, the kicking situation for Auburn for a long, long time has gone where you've got a punter and you've got a kicker, and they're there for 4 years at least, it feels like, in that role, and hoping that we're able to do that again at Auburn moving forward this time, and it's going to be tough to replace. Stephen Clark, to close out the year last year, if he wasn't the best punter in the country, I wouldn't want to trade him for anybody else. His coffin corner kicks, and he had that spin, looked like he was hitting a wedge in there in the national championship game and bringing it back wherever he wanted. That's going to be tough to replace. And Cody Parkey on kickoffs, that was one part of the national championship game that I felt, I'm sure Cody, as well as he did all year last year, would have liked to have had a few of those kicks back and do what he did at Jordan-Hare most of those times, just kick it out of the back of the end zone. Did have that one kickoff return for a touchdown against us that really turned the momentum of the football game there in the second half for Florida State. So that is a commodity when you have someone that can kick it out of the back of the end zone and let them start at the 20.
No question about it. This is what you need to know about Stephen Clark here. All right, he punted 207 times in his career at Auburn. Only 22 of those were returned. and that was for a 5.4-yard average. Like you said, he puts them all inside the 20, and he was an MVP type situation. I believe we are able to hook up with Brian Matthews now, senior writer for AuburnSports.com. Hey, Brian, how you doing today?
I'm doing terrific. How about you?
I'm doing really well. I think this is the first time since we've had a chance to catch up with you since you made the transition over to AuburnSports.com. How's all that working out for you?
Oh, it's going great. We've got a terrific team at AuburnSports.com, part of the Rivals Network, and it's been cranking out a lot of content from two-a-days and keeping up with recruiting, so it's been terrific.
Well, Brian, obviously last week was kind of a watershed moment in college athletics. You had the NCAA giving the Power 5 conferences autonomy. You've had the now Ed O'Bannon, so to speak, case settled by verdict of the players here. I'm just curious. You talk to the players pretty much on a daily basis, I guess. Do you get any reaction from them? Have they said anything about this? Do they understand what all this means?
We haven't actually talked so much about that yet. That's a great question, and we probably should have. But I think overall, it's definitely going to benefit the players. They're going to get the full cost of attendance. That's coming down the line. So that means a little bit extra money for them to spend, on the weekends, or if they need extra stuff, and they're going to get some sort of amount of money once they finish up their eligibility for using their likeness and then being part of the team too because of the Alabama trial. So I think if I was to ask them, which I need to, it would be very positive.
Well, you were obviously covering Auburn now for several years. You covered them last year coming off that 3-9 season. You covered them this year in this fall camp coming off a terrific 12-2 season. Just what have you noticed? What are the differences in this team as they've prepared to take on the season?
Well, it's a totally different dynamic. Last year they were the underdogs. They were just trying to, because we're talking about trying to get their confidence up and having them believe in themselves, and you saw that happen over the course of the season. They got better and better. Even the LSU loss. You watched the second half. If you were down there on the field, you saw an LSU team that was just bending over and totally worn out. And if Auburn would have had a little bit more time or caught a couple more breaks, they could have won that game too. So, and this is a totally different team. It's a team that you almost have to take the opposite approach because you're coming off a national championship appearance. You're going into the season a top 5 program. Now everybody's looking at you as the favorite and wanting to knock you off. So they have to sort of handle it a little bit different than last year. But I still see a team that has a lot of leadership, a lot of seniors, a lot of confidence, and a team that's really looking forward to getting back out there in Jordan-Hare Stadium here in about 17 more days.
Obviously, Auburn on the offensive and defensive line have lost 2 incredibly important pieces before the season even started, before practice even started. How have those guys been able to rally around each other and kind of absorb what has happened and try to pick up the slack?
Well, those are big losses. I think Alex Kozan is probably Auburn's best run blocker, at least coming out of last year on that offensive line. And if you look at that situation, though, they've got some really good depth there, and they're able to throw 5 guys out there now with Pat Miller and those guys that have all got experience and have all started before. So they feel really good about their first 5, and this camp has really been about finding those 6th, 7th, and 8th guys, in case they do have other injuries this coming up season there. So I still think they feel great about offensive line. And then at that rush in on defense, I think that's a little bit of the issue. Maybe the biggest issue with this team going into this season, they're looking at Casanova McKenzie, moving him from linebacker to D-end, those third down passing situations. They've got Ladarius Owens, who they're hoping, and we're thinking that this may be, that season where he has sort of a breakout season, which is something they need desperately from him. And then they've had some newcomers. Devontae Lambert has been really good, the JUCO defensive end. He's more of a strong side guy, but a freshman that has really sort of surprised some people is Rashid Kenyon. And he's a guy that is not big enough to be a 3-down player, but I think, he can help out Auburn in certain situations.
Well, we got Brian Matthews here from AuburnSports.com joining us on Sports Call this afternoon. Maybe this is just my curiosity, but I'd like to know your opinion. Obviously, Nick Marshall it's been said he will not start the first game, and I think everybody on the planet knows that Jeremy Johnson is going to be the starter. Why are Gus Malzahn and Rhett Lashley reluctant or refusing to go ahead and name him the starter?
I think they're just, being coaches. They want him to earn it in camp, and I don't think there's any doubt that Jeremy's going to start, and they probably won't name a starter until maybe the week of the game. So it's just semantics, I think. I don't think it's anything to read anything into or, anything like that. As far as Nick Marshall, I think it could be a series, it could be a quarter, a half, or maybe more. I really don't have a good feel for how long he'll be out.
Obviously, the running back situation is pretty good for Auburn right now. The younger guys, Peyton Barber, you hear so much about him in the spring this past, and now you hear so much about him now again in fall camp. And Rock Thomas, he seems to have made a big impression. Can you give us just I know those guys, they don't let you see a lot in practice, but can you just give us a sense of what those two guys bring to the table and maybe who they remind you of?
I've always thought Rock had a little bit of Carnell in him. Real shifty, really tough to tackle, and is a great space player. And, Peyton Barber is sort of like a Ronnie Brown. He's a big guy, and he can get those extra 1 or 2 yards, by just run through over people. And that doesn't mean that he's, just a slow guy, because he's pretty explosive and really good fit for this offense. I think both those guys are going to play behind Cameron Artis-Payne and Corey Grant. I think those are your two main guys. And I think as the season goes on, Rock and Peyton Barber will get their chances. And if they continue to produce and do well, I think they'll get more carries. And, we could have a different dynamic when we start getting into October and November at the running back position.
Well, we could do a whole lot worse than another Carnell and Ronnie. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Obviously, the punting situation, I think everybody may have thought that it had kind of been settled in the spring, but is it a matter of that Daniel Carlson is that good, or is it a matter of the other guys are not really performing up to par?
I think Daniel Carlson just has a terrific leg. He can crush that ball when he gets hold of it. He told us he made a 52 and 55-yard field goal, I believe, is what he said in the scrimmage yesterday. That's a redshirt freshman doing that. So that's pretty impressive. And, my only concern would be, how's he going to hold up over the course of the season if he has to do all three things? And then especially when you talk about some of these games where Auburn is just scoring touchdown, those kickoffs can wear you out. So I would imagine they'll have, if Auburn gets a good enough lead, they'll have some other guys doing kickoffs and other things to give him a break. But would not be surprised to see him end up winning all three jobs.
Well, that'll be interesting. That'll be the first time, I guess, since Damon Duval to handle both duties like that. I don't like to, delve into rumors or anything, but the last two rumors that were going around turned out to be true. So I just want to ask you, have you seen anything or heard anything that would indicate that Robinson Threesy won't be starting game one?
No, nothing definite. We hear all those things too, but until we know for certain, we can't say one way or the other. But probably something we won't know about for certain until we get into pre-game here on August 30th. But if we do find out before then, we'll be sure to report it one way or the other.
Well, Auburn they're taking a day off today. They'll practice Thursday and Friday. When does the true game plan start to? When do they start to put the game plan in for Arkansas?
Well, they're going to have probably another scrimmage Saturday, and the first two are mostly young guys. I think they'll start playing a lot more of the veterans. Coming up this Saturday, and then Monday is I think when school starts, and that's usually the time when they start. Dividing up the team, coming up with those scout teams, and really start preparing for that opener. So they've been doing stuff on Arkansas, here and there, but I think it'll really get serious starting next week.
Well, all right. What's going on right now at AuburnSports.com?
Well, plenty of practice coverage. We had one of our podcasts, the rundown. Put that out this morning. That's available on our site, of course. And then Jeffrey had a great interview with Kerryon Johnson, the Auburn's running back commit, who is looking to make it 3 state championships in a row. Most high schools get started here in another week.
That's outstanding. Be sure to go on to the Rivals, auburnsports.com. Check out everything that Brian has to offer there. He does a great job covering Auburn. Brian, we appreciate so much you joining us here on Sports Call this afternoon.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right. Look forward to talking to you again. There's more Sports Call to come in the next segment, presented by Auburn Urgent Care.
Go with Graceland Portable Buildings for storage facilities and the highest quality hunting and fishing cabins you'll ever see. Graceland blows away the competition with the finest building materials, top quality lumber, and secure metal roofs. And Graceland is so sure that their buildings will move only when you want them to, that they offer the strongest warranties in the business. Buy outright or lease to own, there is no credit check required. And Graceland will deliver and set up your new building for free. Look for the G and visit Graceland Portable Buildings on South College in Auburn, or go to GracelandPortableBuildings.com. Get ready! It's here! Tiger Iron Gym's best deal ever is happening right now. Sign up by August 31st, and you'll get a whole month's membership for $1. $1, 4 quarters, and a full month of working out at Auburn's best gym. Open 24/7, 365 days a year. Tons of parking and even more equipment. Getting August for just $1, that deal is crazy good, and it won't happen again. No sign-up fee. Every month is only $19, and contracts are always month to month. Tiger Iron Gym in the Winn-Dixie Shopping Center on South College.
I'm so tired of eating pizza.
You want a real meal? You know, just like Mama's home cooking. Then dine in, carry out, or have veggies to go on South College. Cater your next meal. You can eat food just like Mom's, 7 days a week, and have something different every day. Pork chops, country fried steak and gravy, meatloaf, and more. Served with all kinds of fresh veggies and casseroles. And don't miss out on Miss Jeannie's homemade desserts. So when you're craving the comfort from home, it's always veggies to go on South College in Auburn.
Gotta get the Gills Auto Sales. We can finance you. Got to get the Gills. Then asking for lowdowns. Now I'm here to say Gills Phoenix City Walmart has them on the way. Everything on the lot is $4.99 down. Gills price and selection is the best around. That low down payment gets you on your way. $4.99 down. You'll be riding today. Gotta get the Gills Auto Sales. We can finance you. Got to get the Gills. Selection and price. Got to get the Gills. Gotta get the Gills.
In a world where time is money, only one team can conquer all your printing and marketing needs, big or small. Call the A-Team, Allegra Printing. The experts at Allegra can handle it all, from concept, copywriting, and design, to printing, targeting, and mailing. They're local, knowledgeable, accurate, and quick. Don't risk your company's success on a faceless, faraway online imitator. There can be only one. Allegra Printing, your A-Team, in Auburn, at the University Crossing Shopping Center behind McAllister's Deli. Allegra-auburnal.com.
Hi, I'm Ashley with USA Team Handball, and we're so excited to be working with Auburn University, training here on the Plains. We're working towards representing Team USA in the 2016 Olympics in Rio de Janeiro, and we need your help. We want to invite you to learn more by going to usateamhandball.org, liking us on Facebook, and following us on Twitter @USATH. To help us out on the road to Rio, go to crowdrise.com/USATH. Every little bit helps, and all donations are tax deductible. Thanks for letting USA Team Handball be a part of the Auburn community. Go USA and War Eagle.
Policies issued by American General Life Insurance Company, Houston, Texas. Not available in all states. For details, visit AIGdirect.com.
It takes a lot of courage to face your own death, but I'm glad I finally did. See, I was putting off getting life insurance to protect my family, even though I knew it was important. Then my neighbor's husband died. I watched her struggle emotionally and financially. It really made me face reality. If my husband died, how would I pay the mortgage, the car payments, or keep up the life the kids and I had? I realized I needed to get us life insurance right away. So I called AIG Direct. In less than 5 minutes, I had a quote. I was shocked at how affordable it is. Just $14 a month for $250,000 of term life coverage. I feel so much better knowing my family has protection.
Call AIG Direct right now for a free no-obligation quote. The call takes less than 5 minutes, and you can save up to 70%. Call now, 1-800-566-2821. That's 1-800-566-2821. 1-800-566-2821.
This segment of Sports Call is brought to you by Resource Natural Spring Water. Resource is 100% natural spring water with naturally occurring electrolytes that support a lifestyle of well-being. When you need to refresh, revitalize, and replenish, it's always Resource Natural Spring Water.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Call. Andy and Randy here with you for another hour and 10 minutes or so. Taking your phone calls at 1-888-9-TIGER-9 toll-free or locally at 334-887-3401. Randy, great interview with Brian Matthews. He always brings a lot of knowledge, always brings a lot of insight. I always love talking to guys that actually watch the guys practice because they seem to know exactly, and they have certainly a better feel for. And I love to hear that Rock Thomas and Peyton Barber remind him of Carnell and Ronnie.
Well, if that's a fact, then that's not even bringing up the two that I think that are at the top of the pecking order for Auburn at the running back position. So it's a loaded stable back there. It's a great problem to have, figuring out how to get the ball in your playmakers' hands, and I wouldn't want anybody as my coach other than Gus Malzahn and Rhett Lashley to figure out a way to do that. But we like to say on this program, and we like to say on Sports Blitz also, we talk about sports. We don't report sports. Those guys do an outstanding job of getting the news out there, and then we come on Sports Call, and we just give an opinion. And we love to hear your opinion out there, 888-9-TIGER-9, 334-887-3401. This Durant story, it's intriguing to me because for him to potentially go to Under Armour, what does that mean? I look at it locally. Does that mean much for Auburn basketball? I think it may.
Oh, definitely. And excuse me, there's just talk out there right now, but it is true that Kevin Durant, his 7-year contract with Nike is up. Now, he won't be a free agent in basketball until 2016, and that may play into this as well, but it's being reported that Under Armour is offering him as much as $30 million a year. That'd be hard to turn down. Kevin Durant is from Maryland. That's where Under Armour is based. Nike and Adidas are still after him, but I think it would be huge. We've talked about this for several years now about Auburn being tied to Under Armour and how AAU basketball is dominated by Nike, and Under Armour is trying to get a foothold in that world, but it's a very slow process. I think this would speed that up dramatically. Kevin Durant is one of the most, if not the most, second to LeBron James, the most visible NBA basketball player in the world. And him being totally tied to Under Armour, that could really, really open not only doors, but it could really be big for all.
I'd like to know, is there a bidding war? Has Nike, have they been able to come back with a number close to that $30 million? What's the norm? What does LeBron get? I'm going to look into that during the top of the hour break and see what endorsements, but am I wrong? Does $30 million not sound like an enormous number to you? I think he may be worth it. Don't get me wrong. I know that Michael Jordan was worth it. I remember seeing the story by Nike on Bo Jackson and the campaign that they brought out with that cross-training shoe. If you remember the orange and blue cross-training shoe that all of us had during his heyday, and how much money that brought to the Nike brand at that time. Trust me, I get the business end of it, but $30 million?
Well, if he had a contract with Nike for 7 years and $60 million, this is an enormous raise, obviously. So, yes, it does seem outlandish, but Under Armour, they are a company that's kind of been known for doing, just kind of going out into the market and doing some things that kind of seem maybe, not the norm. They think outside the box, and they are willing to go out on a limb. So I think signing Kevin Durant would be that, because he has that image that every company's looking for. He's that squeaky clean guy. He's the one that gave up, when that MVP speech, he's weeping there at the stand. Everybody loves Kevin Durant, and throw in the fact that he's just incredible with the ball in his hand. So maybe he is worth that much. But I definitely think it would do. And I think this is one of the things that Under Armour understands, that if they're going to get into the basketball world, they got to do something like this. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is accurate, no doubt.
They got to make a splash, and this would definitely be a splash. 888-9-TIGER-9, 334-887-3401, Sports Call AU. Just tuning in to us, Andy, first segment, you gave everybody an idea. We're 12 days out. At least we have 12 more Sports Call programmings leading into the first football game. Give them an idea of what we're planning on doing for the final 12 days leading into football.
Yeah, we're just going to take one segment and preview every team on Auburn's schedule. So leading up to the season there on Friday, August 29th, we're going to preview Arkansas. We're going to start tomorrow and preview Alabama. So we're starting with the end of the schedule and working our way forward to that first game, against Arkansas. Hopefully, maybe we'll have somebody on from Arkansas to talk to us a little bit about their preseason, how they've done, injury situations, what they really expect out of the season. Hopefully it'll be an informative thing, and maybe you'll learn something about some of these schools that maybe you didn't already know.
888-9-TIGER-9, 334-887-3401. It's going to be unique, starting with Alabama and leading into Arkansas. As you get closer to the game, Andy, do you get more confident about the game with Arkansas, or are you one of those guys that look a little deeper and start getting worried as the game nears end?
I'm already confident, so I'm not getting any less. I'm sure, maybe the more I learn about them, something may trip me up for a day or two, but I'm not scared of Arkansas, at least right now. And, of course, I'm not playing. We're going to go ahead and take our final break. The Fox Sports Report is up next. We'll be back with hour number 2 of Sports Call, presented by Always Money, right after this.
Purchasing a home can sometimes be overwhelming. Instead, it should be an exciting time for you and your family. Hi, I'm Angela Van Houten with Century 21 Lake Area Realty. I want to help you find the home or property that perfectly fits your needs. With over 15 years of experience in real estate, I am proud to serve the Lake Martin and surrounding areas. Call or text me today, 256-596-0566, or find me on the web at angelavanhouten.com and let me help you find the home you've always dreamed of.
It's always something. Your car needs a new tire, tuition is due. It's down to the wire. Cheerleading outfits, soccer shoes, football pads, or annual dues. Nellie's in band. She needs a trombone. Good golly Molly, you need a loan. Jimmy broke his arm. He needs a cast. You need money, and you need it fast. When life comes at you, Always Money can help you through. It's easy, convenient, friendly, and fast. You'll get the cash you need the day you need it. So stop by or visit alwaysmoney.com. How much can we loan you today? Borrowers often use payday loans over a period of months, which can be expensive.
From cruises and resorts to land tours and completely packaged vacations, Ruta Lisa Anderson of Cruise Planners specializes in all types of travel and will create an unforgettable vacation just for you. Visit exotic destinations, Alaska, Europe, Hawaii, and more. Visit exclusivecruiseplanners.com or call Ruta Lisa Anderson of Cruise Planners today, toll free at 844-722-6342.
Yeah.
Is your paycheck slipping away in insurance premiums? Let Alpha Insurance show you how to tackle savings with rewards and discounts for loyal customers. Save even more when you bundle your home, car, and life insurance with Alpha. Plus, you get friendly service from our hometown team. In Opelika, call Alpha agent Brian Foreman at 334-749-3371 or stop by our office at 709 2nd Avenue in Opelika.
You're listening to Sports Call on Tiger 93.9, WTGZ, Union Springs, Montgomery, and Auburn, and LaGrange.
Fox Sports trending now.
Live from Los Angeles, I'm Tom Looney. Slaving over a hot microphone. Mike Napoli was the difference today in the Red Sox-Reds game on WEEI Boston.
Two-run shot from Mike Napoli.
And the Red Sox have retaken the lead 5-3.
5-4 was your final there, and on KFAN Minneapolis, the Twins kick some ass.
It's gone into the bullpen. Joe Mauer with a solo home run to right center, and he breaks the tie in a big way.
Minnesota 3, Houston 1. Your final bottom 7, the San Francisco Giants in front of the White Sox 4-1. Top 7 in Cleveland. Indians and Diamondbacks are tied at 2. Cowboys quarterback Tony Romo will start Saturday's preseason game against the Ravens. It'll be Romo's first game since back surgery last year.
I'm a believer that you have to play football to get better at football. And I think if you have the opportunity to play, you got to play.
And I am Looney.
It was just one of those days. I had a million things to do. This was the last thing I was expecting.
No matter how well you drive, things happen. And when they do, the ASE-certified technicians at Franklin Tire and Auto know there's only one way to fix it, the right way. From accident repair to factory-scheduled maintenance, Franklin Tire will give you honest, dependable service at a competitive price. Proudly serving the area since 1970 and still locally owned and operated.
No shortcuts, no compromise, and friendly service every time. Franklin Tire and Auto in Auburn, 821-4572, and FranklinAutoInc.com.
There's nothing like the signature honey glazed spiral sliced ham from Honey Baked. Hey, this is Crystal. From catering corporate meetings to providing box lunches for your next event, Honey Baked Ham is just what you're looking for, including full meals with sides and desserts. Don't forget to stop by our deli for lunch or dinner, open 10 to 7, Monday through Saturday. You don't have to wait for the holidays. Plan your Honey Baked feast today. Give us a call at 741-8411, stop by and see us on Gateway Drive in Opelika, or order online at myhoneybakestore.com. Honey Baked Ham, perfect every time. We guarantee it.
Auburn Links is proud to honor the people who keep us safe, the men and women of the military, and the police, fire, and EMTs of Lee County. To show their thanks, Auburn Links is offering you special discounts. Just show your ID, and you'll get 18 holes of the best golf around for just $25 anytime. That's right, members of the military, along with police, fire, and EMTs of Lee County, 18 holes for just $25. Auburn Links wants to thank you for what you do with a great round of golf. Auburn Links off exit 51. Call 887-5151.
Girl Scouts of Southern Alabama has the reach and experience to help girls navigate an increasingly complex society. The Girl Scout leadership experience touches more than 8,500 girls in Southern Alabama. A majority of these girls could not afford to be a Girl Scout without your support. Girl Scouts make a difference in the community around them. So when girls succeed, so does society. Get involved, support Girl Scouts.
Mountain Dew Kickstart now comes in 2 new flavors, Black Cherry and Limeade, to help kickstart your night. When you start your night with Mountain Dew Kickstart, you start with dew, juice, and electrolytes. So now you're ready for anything. You're ready for a pre-party, a post-party, a post-party, which might be so late it's actually a pre-party for tomorrow's party. Talking a bouncer into letting you in backstage. Talking a bouncer into letting you onto a tour bus. Talking a bouncer into letting you drive the bus. That's because you started the night with new Mountain Dew Kickstart Black Cherry and Limeade. And now you're ready for anything, like a birthday party for a friend, a birthday party for an ex-girlfriend of a friend, a birthday party for some rando that you never met, but they had delicious cake and you love delicious cake. Pool parties with a pool table in the pool. Dates that are in total darkness. Dates that you sort of wish were in total darkness. Whatever happens, you're ready. New Mountain Dew Kickstart Black Cherry and Limeade to kickstart your night. Dew, juice, and electrolytes for an amazingly refreshing taste. Electrolytes added for taste purposes only. Kickstart your night.
You better buckle your seatbelts because it's going to be a show to watch.
From Tiger Communications.
Jackson, touchdown!
For 20 years, East Alabama's sports talk leader.
Swing and drive, belts and right!
Sportscall. Call in now at 887-3401-LOCAL. Or 1-888-9-TIGER-9, toll free.
Struck him out!
And now, coming to you live from the loveliest village on the plains, Sports Call. This segment of Sports Call is brought to you by Reinhardt Prattville, located on Cobbs Ford Road. 334-290-1992. Visit us online at ReinhardtPrattville.com. Reinhardt Prattville. We sell to sell again.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Sports Call, the Wednesday edition on this beautiful summer day. Here, August the, what is it, the 13th?
I think it's 13th. Sounds good.
Yeah, that's good enough for me. My name is Andy Graham, alongside my partner, Randy Lee. We'll be with you for one more hour, taking your phone calls at 1-888-9-TIGER-9 toll-free, or locally at 334-887-3401. You can check us out on our Facebook page, or you can just send us a tweet. Sportscall AU is our tag. We would love to interact with you any way you would like. Tell us what's on your mind, what you'd like us to talk about. We caught up with Brian Matthews from AuburnSports.com in the first hour, talked a little bit about Auburn. They are taking the day off today from practice. They will practice tomorrow and Friday. Brian said that they will probably scrimmage and one more time, maybe Saturday. You talked about, the quarterback situation. Obviously, Jeremy Johnson is the starter. I don't know why I have such a curiosity about this or why this bothers me. It doesn't bother me, but everybody knows that Jeremy Johnson is going to be the starter. Why not just say it? I don't know why. Is it just we're playing games with Arkansas to make people think, oh, well, you don't know what we're going to do. But if it is, it's the worst-kept secret in the world.
The thing that I've enjoyed watching with coaches and just paying attention how some coaches handle the media and others handle a different way, I like Gus Malzahn's approach. It's say as little as humanly possible to give anybody anything. And because really, outside of just answering a question very quickly and getting on to the next question, the only thing you can do is continue to talk and hurt yourself. So I like that he doesn't add too much. For Arkansas, if he did say a whole lot, maybe it does change the game plan. If he does say, look, he's going to be out the whole first half, of course that changes the game plan drastically for what you get ready for when you're playing Auburn. But he doesn't add too much to it, and I personally like that. And I think that it's something to learn from, because I can only think it could hurt you the more you talk.
Well, if you just say, yeah, Jeremy Johnson's going to start, he may only play one play. I mean, anyway, it's just me. Brian also talked about the running back. I asked him about the young guys, how they really, looked. There's been so much chatter about Peyton Barber, about Rock Thomas, how they've looked in practice, how they've really competed and looked to be players, impact players this year. Obviously, Cameron Artis-Payne and Corey Grant are the veterans. They're the seniors. You would imagine that early, at least, certainly they're going to get the bulk of the carries. But Brian compared Rock Thomas to, he had a little Carnell Williams in him, and Peyton Barber kind of reminded him a little bit of Ronnie Brown. So Auburn could do a lot worse.
They definitely could. And Rock Thomas yesterday, we had a 50-play scrimmage, and Rock Thomas had a 15-yard touchdown run during that 50-play scrimmage. Tony Stevens was the one that brought that up. Congratulations. We did get a little bit out of that scrimmage yesterday. We did get the catch by Duke Williams also out of practice. It was quickly pulled down following, but a one-hand quick post, skinny post that was slightly thrown high and behind Duke Williams that he had no problem.
Who took the video?
I don't know. But, we're just
has nobody seen them since?
We're just glad that it did get out and we get to see anything. As you're closing into football season, any little snippet of news that you can get, you embrace. And that's the reason we have so much fun catching up with Brian Matthews there in the first hour and Jason Caldwell, who calls in quite often. So we really appreciate them for taking some time out to be on Sports Call. Going to move over here in this segment and have some quick hitters brought to you out there, and so much going on in the world of sports. And as I look down through some of them, I want to start with some great news locally. I don't know if y'all mentioned it yesterday, but the PGA Tour coming to a stop in Opelika, Alabama. I think that's outstanding news, Andy.
Oh, yeah. They talk about it being a $25 million impact to the surrounding area. And the first time that a PGA tournament has been held in Alabama, I believe, since 1990. So, there have been some LPGAs. Obviously, you have that senior event there in Birmingham. I guess they still have that. It used to be the Brewers.
They do.
But this is a big time, absolutely. There at Grand National, I think the Lakes course is the one they're going to play. This is a 4-year run. So, this is not just a one-time deal. It is, you got to start somewhere. It is the weekend of the British Open. So, you're going to have probably 70 really, really good PGA Tour players over in England or Scotland or wherever they would play the tournament that year. But that leaves 130 pretty good PGA Tour players to come down here and put on a great tournament. And you would like to see this thing grow. You obviously, if it does work out well, and a lot of that is based on how you host and how that all works out, and the logistics of it and how they all how they all work out, and this could, move into something where it's you don't host it on the same weekend as a major. It may change dates, but the tournament stays there, and that's a great thing.
I love the venue. I love the setup. We're a little bit selfish as we sit in Auburn and Opelika and here on Lake Martin, and what it can mean to the local economies in both of our locales, and excited about it. Just excited that it's coming to the state of Alabama, but more excited that it's coming within 30 miles of wherever you are in the listening audience out there on 93.9. So really sounds good. Let's go back to the phone line. Scott in Ellick City, you're on Sports Call.
What's going on, guys? How you doing?
Good. Good to hear from you, Scott.
Yeah, I'm listening to you talk about the golf tournament that'll be coming, and I want to just echo your statements. I'm super excited about it, and although it does fall on a major week, it's okay because you're only getting 30, 35 guys that are going to play in the British Open, so there'll still be a plethora of guys coming in, and just the opportunity for this area and the listening area to be able to have such a great event come. If it goes well, then possibly, you get a different week, and then you possibly can get different types of golfers. But to have it here in the state of Alabama is just a great thing.
Scott, our question of the day, and we'd love to hear your thoughts on that. How excited are you that the SEC Network is about to be unveiled, and which programs are you looking forward to checking out in the early going?
Well, obviously, I'm extremely excited about it because the SEC has been the premier conference for the last 10 years, and I think the rest of the country, while they know it, now they're going to have the opportunity to see it. This isn't just something regionally where people are watching it. You're looking at some 50 million homes, I think I read, that will have the SEC Network, so that can't just be all SEC fans. And I think it has the opportunity to really build some of these other programs, and not just from a football perspective. There's going to be so much programming that goes on that will help boost some of your other programs. And when you have the SEC, coverage 365, then it's only going to help the conference and help us do some things that I think we've been wanting to do for some time. But obviously I want to see the Auburn program that's going to include Bo, Frank, and Charles Barkley. I can't wait to see where all of that goes. But I just think that it's going to be very exciting, and all SEC fans should be excited to have the opportunity to be able to watch any SEC programming they want 365 days a year.
Scott, we appreciate your phone call, buddy, and look forward to hearing again from you soon.
All right, thanks, guys. You have a good one.
Thank you. 888-9-TIGER-9, 334-887-3401. Got a couple of questions of the day. Of course, SEC Network close. Are you looking forward to it, and which programs are you looking forward to out there? And maybe our second question of the day, and I think it's talk on national news, is Tony Stewart. Your thoughts on Tony Stewart. Do you believe that some kind of legal ramification will be set on Tony Stewart as we move forward? We'll catch up with Trip Walton, attorney over in the Lee County area. We'll catch up with him, I think, in a couple of segments and get some legal advice from him on many things that are going on in the world of sports. So stay tuned in for that. But, Andy, Tony Stewart, where do you think?
Well, you can't be inside Tony Stewart's head. There's only one person on the planet that knows his intent, and that's him. So let's just remove that out of the equation. I don't know his intent. Let's look at the facts of what happened. He was driving a car that ran over another human being. So that human being lost their life. So, was it a tragic accident? Yes. As far as I could tell, looking at the video. Again, I don't know Stewart's intent. I watched, and I can't help but I think there's enough blame to go around. I think both parties are at fault here. I look at that, and I see Tony Stewart's car was not – it was not even in the middle of the track. It was toward the bottom of the track, and Kevin Ward had walked all the way to the middle of the track and was so close to that vehicle. I don't know it would have mattered if Tony Stewart – what he did. It looked like he was going to be caught up under it either way. And so, it's horrible to think about. It was horrible to watch. And I don't know what will come of it, but I don't think in any way, and certainly whether he did or not, I don't think there's any way you could prove murder or anything like that. So it'll be interesting to see how it all comes out. The investigation is still ongoing, so we'll have to just wait and see. We'll go ahead and take our first break of our second hour here on Sports Call, but there's more to come. Please stay with us. Sports Call brought to you by Auburn Urgent Care.
It's always something. Your car needs a new tire, tuition is due. It's down to the wire. Cheerleading outfits, soccer shoes, football pads, or annual dues. Nellie's in band. She needs a trombone. Good golly Molly, you need a loan. Jimmy broke his arm. He needs a cast. You need money, and you need it fast. When life comes at you, Always Money can help you through. It's easy, convenient, friendly, and fast. You'll get the cash you need the day you need it. So stop by or visit alwaysmoney.com. How much can we loan you today? Borrowers often use payday loans over a period of months, which can be expensive.
What is LMG? It's a team of professionals with the tools to create a successful marketing plan to help your business grow. LMG has successful designs that get results for the individual and the business. We provide signs of all types: screen printing and embroidery, promotional products, web design, audio and video production, and much more. LMG has 3 locations to serve you in Alex City, Dadeville, and the Auburn-Opelika area. Call us at 888-533-6758.
Lake Winds Golf Course, the most affordable, quality round of golf in Central Alabama. Located right off Highway 280 on County Road 40 in Alexander City, Lake Winds Golf Course offers affordable memberships, an updated pro shop, junior golf program, annual tournaments, and weekly matches. Call for your tee time today, 256-825-9860. Lake Winds Golf Course.
Auburn Urgent Care, located on South College in Auburn and on Enterprise Drive at Opelika near Tigertown, offers convenient solutions to your health care and occupational medicine needs. We offer workman's compensation injury care, and we have a certified DOT medical examiner on staff. It's not about speed. It's about the quality of care. We're open 7 days a week, 7:30 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Friday, and 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. on weekends in Auburn, and 8:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday in Opelika. Walk-ins are welcome. Auburn Urgent Care. 334-821-3221 in Auburn or 334-749-9191 in Opelika. Visit us online at auburnurgentcare.com. Proud of our past, confident in our future. And for your primary health care needs, visit Family Health Clinic at 1456 Opelika Road in Auburn. 334-826-8951. Open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m.
When you change the life of a man, you change an entire family. The Reprieve helps men with alcohol and drug problems that have had multiple treatment attempts. The Reprieve is a Bradford Health Services innovative recovery program. The year-long Reprieve offers testing, evaluation, and mentoring for employment, guides men through the 12 steps, and provides life skills training for balanced, healthy living. Get a Reprieve on life at 256-496-0406.
Is your paycheck slipping away in insurance premiums? Let Alpha Insurance show you how to tackle savings with rewards and discounts for loyal customers. Save even more when you bundle your home, car, and life insurance with Alpha. Plus, you get friendly service from our hometown team. In Opelika, call Alpha agent Brian Foreman at 334-749-3371 or stop by our office at 709 2nd Avenue in Opelika.
At Russell Do-It Center stores, you'll find a complete assortment of lumber, building materials, hardware, electrical and plumbing supplies, paint, tools, and lawn and garden merchandise. Russell Do-It Center stores deliver first-class service, top-rated products, and competitive do-it-best pricing. Russell Do-It Center also offers free estimates, free local delivery, and price match promise. Check us out at www.russelldoitcenter.com or visit one of our 9 locations in Central Alabama.
This segment of Sports Call is brought to you by Carl Gregory, Auburn, Opelika, and Columbus. Looking for a new Jeep, Ram, Dodge, or Chrysler model or a certified pre-owned vehicle? You're in luck. Visit your locally owned dealer for great prices on every make and model. Carl Gregory, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. 2 giant locations, Victory Drive or the North Lake Auto Complex in Columbus.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Call. Andy and Randy here with you for another 40 minutes, taking your phone calls at 1-888-9-TIGER-9 toll free or locally at 887-3401. Who's up next, Randy?
Let's go back to the phone lines. Anthony in Auburn, you're on Sports Call.
Hey, guys. How's it going today?
Good, Anthony. How are you?
I'm doing well. I just wanted to jump in on the Tony Stewart conversation, maybe a little bit of the SEC network. On the Tony Stewart front, has there been any more video surfaced from the original that was put out?
I have not seen one. I saw a video. It was the same angle, but they had got it down into super slow motion and really zeroed in on what had happened. And you know, it was still difficult to tell what had happened, but you could almost, I mean, it almost appeared like he tackled the car.
And that's what I was listening to a guy that I can't remember the guy's name, but he had, you know, he was a racer in NASCAR for a long time. I think he'd had a severe injury, so he'd gotten out. Now he's an analyst. And I agree with him, and what he was saying was basically that the guy was putting himself in more of a precarious situation than Tony Stewart. You running onto the track have more control of what you're doing than Tony Stewart does, going however fast those dirt track cars go. And I'm gonna listen to Trip Walton and see what he has to say, but in my opinion, I'm no legal expert, but how can you truly get in the mind of an individual when there's really very little video evidence that can show you anything? I mean, and the analyst was saying that there should have already been rules in place that does not allow a driver to get out of his car unless there is, you know, fire or something like that his life is in danger.
Yeah, I don't even mind them getting out of the car. Just don't walk into the middle of the track. You know, I mean, it's just, I understand the impulse, you know, is just, and it may be overwhelming to get out of the car, but like you said, you're trying to confront a moving vehicle. You're trying to confront Tony Stewart, but your mind has got to take over there and to think, and again, they were under caution. I don't know how fast I don't know anything about racing. I don't know how fast these dirt track cars go, but if they're under caution, what are they going, 45? That's still pretty fast.
And then the other thing is we wouldn't even be probably having this discussion at lengths like we are now with Tony Stewart if the guy before Tony Stewart would have hit the and I forget here, but you know, and I don't know, do you think that Tony Stewart will be, if this does go to trial or whatever this does, do you think they'll use what they call his hot head pass against him?
I think that's what we'll ask in the upcoming segment with Trip Walton. Can that be used as part of evidence? Again, Andy and I said this on the opening segment of the program. I don't think anybody knows, and I don't know how you can prove that anyone knows what was going through Tony Stewart's head outside of what he says, and he says he didn't see him. He couldn't dodge him, and he hit him, and it's a terrible catastrophe that happened, but am I wrong, Anthony? At least that's the way I see it.
No, I agree with you. And I mean, I'm surprised with all the, tension that runs high on any athletic field, whether it's a racetrack or a dirt track or, a playing field like football or soccer. I just feel like there's been too many guys getting out of cars, whether they're throwing their helmets or they're punching a car. I mean, I saw one of Tony Stewart himself getting out and throwing his helmet at a guy's car on the NASCAR circuit. And I don't know very much about racing either, but I know if I'm the guy out on the track, I know I'm in a terrible situation and I'm not being very smart about that. So I'm going to be interested to see where this goes. I agree that I don't think you should use a guy's past if he's turned a hothead. This is a totally different situation. It's not like he had a ton of time to react. But that's kind of my opinion on that. And has anybody come out with anything, and I'm switching gears here, Robinson Therese, have y'all heard anything about whether he's in trouble? Is he going to be suspended? Is it all just kind of hearsay? Have y'all heard anything on him?
I talked to Brian Matthews in the first hour. I asked him that very question. He says there's absolutely no indication right now that he will not be playing in the first game. However, they hear those rumors just like everybody else. If it is the case, then they'll be the first to report it.
Gotcha. Thanks for that update. I missed Brian Matthews' interview. And just lastly, my opinion on the SEC is, I think it's going to be great from a standpoint. I'm like Randy. I love the the 30 for 30 type stuff. So I'm looking forward to those, whether it's an Auburn one like the Frank Thomas and Bo Jackson one, or if it's somebody else. I always like to learn history, whether it's current or past, about any other program. And I really like what Scott was saying, that I feel like you are going to give other sports, whether it's, baseball, basketball, or some of your lower tier sports, track and field, give them some love, for lack of a better term. And I think that'll help programs grow. But the biggest thing I'm not looking forward to is not having an Auburn representation on that network. I don't know if I'm going to be able to take it from Tebow and all those guys and see, if it's an Auburn, Alabama talk or an Auburn, Florida talk, let's see how their allegiance really flows. But, guys, keep it up. You do a great job. I love the lineup you got coming up. Talk to you soon.
888-9-TIGER-9, 334-887-3401. We brought that up a couple of weeks back, and it was not a unanimous choice, but I think the choice that got the most mentions for an Auburn ex-player that could potentially be on the SEC network that you would like to see, Takeo Spikes, was brought up more than anybody else, and I think he would be dynamic on the SEC network. He actually was able to send back a retweet saying, kind of interesting to hear that, and we thought that was kind of funny to see him have that response. Let's go back to the phone line. Shadow in Prattville, you're on Sports Call.
Well, thank you for taking my call. I wanted to make two observations and see what y'all thought. Number one was, did y'all see the spring game?
Yes.
Well, I believe I remember the person that was doing the play-by-play of the game mentioned a couple of times during the spring game that it looked like Jeremy Johnson was not really into it, and that he was loping a little bit. I think maybe the reason Malzahn hadn't named a starter is because maybe Wallace outplayed Jeremy Johnson. What do you think?
There's certainly that possibility. I remember exactly what you're talking about. And Jeremy Johnson did not have a great spring game. I didn't see him being, antisocial or anything, or any pulling away from his teammates, or any kind of attitude problem like that. I just think he didn't have a great game. Now, that is possible.
It appeared to me very objectively. I mean, I try to be objective about the players, and it definitely appeared to me that Wallace was a lot more energetic. His leadership seemed to be better. His attitude, based on his body language, seemed to be better. And it appeared that Jeremy Johnson had a game pretty much like Cam Newton in his spring game. And now we know what he turned out to be, and Jeremy Johnson might as well. But in the spring game, he didn't cut it at all. And I just wanted to see what y'all's comments would be on that. And I also feel like that your four running backs, I feel like at this point right now that Peyton Barber and Rock Thomas are better at your running back position. That's just my observation. It could be wrong, but I think maybe seniority may be given a little bit of weight here for these players. But I think that the two young guys are the better running backs. And my last observation is this: did y'all see the catch by Takeo Williams?
Yes.
Well, a couple of observations there. Number one, it was a bad pass that definitely was made an exceptional catch. But if you noticed on the line, Gabe Wright was absolutely destroying somebody on an inside move. There seemed to be no blocking of that man whatsoever. And number two, if you looked at the defensive backs that were in the picture, it appeared that neither one of them lifted a hand to try to block the ball. I just wanted to see your comments on that.
Well, it was a practice. I'm not sure. I didn't catch the players' numbers. I don't know if it was second team or if it was starters out there. But I'm less focused on a single play in practice as far as the defense is concerned like that. I'm more impressed with just a single bit of athleticism.
Well, I think it was indicative of the kind of secondary play that Auburn's had for quite a few years. I hope that it's different this year. I expect it to be. And thank you.
Thanks for the call, Shadow. We're going to go ahead and take our next break. Hopefully we're going to catch up with Trip Walton, attorney there, a fighter for you, in our next segment. There's more Sports Call to come, presented by Auburn Urgent Care.
Hi, I'm Pat Dye. I'd like to tell you why I've been a Ware Jewelers customer for more than 30 years. I like the people, I like the jewelry, and I like the prices. Ware Jewelers has been perfecting what they do since 1946. Their quality is great. They treat each and every customer like a close friend. This is Coach Dye, and in football, I like the Tigers. In jewelry, my choice is Ware Jewelers. Ware Jewelers, Auburn, Opelika, Montgomery, and Spanish Fort.
All right, guys, bring it in. Listen up. I want to talk about last night. Yes, sir. Maybe you had your friends over, huh? Cracked open some icy cold Budweisers.
I heard that.
And maybe, just maybe, you had yourselves the night of your life.
Well, yesterday's over, boys, but tonight is just beginning.
You got a bunch of bonus buds sitting pretty in your fridge.
I want you to crack them open, and I want you to mass text all your friends and round them all up again for round 2. I don't want to hear. I do not want to hear. But we're tired from yesterday, Coach. Or the cleaning lady just left. That's what the fool who missed it would say. Gentlemen, listen to me. You need to go out there and live, and you need to do it tonight. Carpe diem, boys. And while you're at it, carpe nightem too. Great times await. Grab some fun.
Enjoy responsibly. Budweiser Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
TK's convenience stores are prepared to help you on your dash home. Whether you need to grab a gallon of milk, bread, drinks, or some cash from the ATM, TK's is there for you. At TK's convenience stores, we work hard to carry those items that you need to grab quickly, and we pride ourselves on high-quality gasoline and clean stores. So don't stress about your evening. Slow down and stop at one of TK's 14 locations to grab what you need. TK's convenience stores, always there when you need us.
There's only one place to get your textbooks this semester. The Big Blue Bookstore on South College Street. The biggest selection of new books, the most used books in stock, plus a low price guarantee. It's all at the Big Blue Bookstore. Stock up on Under Armour gear, decals, and tailgating supplies. Plus the largest selection of Auburn ladies apparel. The most books, the lowest prices, tons of free parking, and the friendliest service in town. Open this Saturday and Sunday. You can't go wrong with the Big Blue Bookstore, South College Street in Auburn.
Gotta get the Gil's Auto Sales. We can finance you. Got to get the Gil. Then asking for lowdowns. Now I'm here to say Gil's Phoenix City Walmart has them on the way. Everything on the lot. It's $4.99 down. Gil's price and selection is the best around. That low down payment gets you on your way. $4.99 down. You'll be riding today. Gotta get the Gil's Auto Sales. We can finance you. Got to get the Gil. Selection and price. Got to get the Gil. Gotta get the Gil.
Wanted. Personal assistant for small business and some school projects. Must be an expert graphic designer, well-versed in strategic marketing, able to quickly and accurately print everything from business cards and brochures to flyers and signs. With Allegra Printing, you don't need an assistant to get it done. They've got you covered. In-house designers, state-of-the-art all-digital printing equipment, and an on-time can-do attitude. Allegra Printing, your personal assistant. University Crossing Shopping Center behind McAllister's Deli in Auburn. Visit allegra-auburnal.com or call 887-3180.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Call on this Wednesday afternoon. Andy Graham here with you for another 30 minutes, taking your phone calls at 1-888-9-TIGER-9 toll-free or locally at 334-887-3401. We'll pick up your phone calls in our final segment, but right now we're going to welcome in a very special guest, Attorney Trip Walton. Hey, Trip, how's it going?
I'm doing great. How about you?
Doing really well. Hoping you can educate us today on so many legal things that are going on right now that relating to the world of sports.
Well, I tell you, it's a new day for the NCAA, apparently.
Well, that is for sure.
I guess you're talking about the O'Bannon versus NCAA case that just was ruled on last week on August 8th by a district judge. And basically it was a train wreck for the NCAA. And I know a lot about train wrecks, but I'm going to try to tell you a little bit about this. Back in 2009, a former player by the name of Ed O'Bannon, who was actually a basketball player on UCLA's 1995 national championship team, went together with a bunch of law firms and some other players and filed a antitrust class action against the National Collegiate Athletic Association, which we all call the NCAA. Interestingly enough, once it got started, they got some big name players like Oscar Robertson, who's, was famous, the Big O from the Celtics, and Bill Russell, one of the most famous basketball players of all time, also joined as a plaintiff, as one of the, as one who's bringing the lawsuit. And the bottom line was what they found out, what Ed Bannon, who actually got the thing started, he found out that they used his likeness in a video game. And I don't play the video games, but I see my kids looking at them, and they're fascinating. They look just like the people who they portray. And the game that he complained about was that it had a UCLA player play at his position, power forward, matching his height, weight, bald head, skin tone, and number 31 jersey, and was a left-handed shot. So it was him. They didn't ask his permission, and of course they didn't share the millions of dollars they made from the use of it. He got nothing from it, even though he was no longer a college student. So what they did was they opened some doors, it looks like to me, and the main door they opened is, the age-old argument, should athletes be paid to play, Division I sports or any division sports. And that was an ongoing debate all last year on ESPN by all the guys who supposedly know, and it was about a 50-50 split. Some said yes, some said no. The NCAA's argument about the entire basic argument, core argument, is that we're amateurs. They want to protect amateurism in the sport. They want to keep everybody clean. And the other side of that is, wait a minute, you're using these kids, you're making millions of dollars, you're building stadiums, you're paying coaches millions of dollars. You're not even sharing it with the other parts of the school. The softball teams aren't getting any of it. The school, the classrooms aren't getting any of it. And so that's the ongoing argument between the two sides. And in this particular case, the federal judge came down and ruled against the NCAA. Now, she hadn't done her injunction yet. They're filing stuff, and she's going to be filing a written order separately, entering an injunction regarding the specific violations that she found. Now, interestingly enough, also in this same lawsuit, there were two other defendants, Electronic Arts and a collegiate licensing company. And Electronic Arts is EA, which does a lot of these EA sports. You'll see their basketball and video football games, and they've been doing them since 2003. They settled out for $40 million and left the NCAA on its own, and the court continued the trial against the NCAA without these two defendants. They paid in something like $40 million, which could be split up among about 100,000 current and former athletes who appeared in these EA Sports basketball and football videos. They'll get about $4,000 each. Some of them probably don't even know they were in the things, but they'll get a little money. And now the question is going to be, where do we go from here? In my mind, the debate will start raging now. If you pay, how do you pay? Who do you pay? What do you pay? Do you get the superstar quarterback get more than the center who blocks for him, and that kind of stuff? So that's sort of where we are right now. It's opened the door that had not been opened before. And so it's going to be very interesting the next, 5, 6, 7, 8 years in college football and college basketball and baseball and everything else.
Well, Trip, now let me ask you this. Obviously, like you said, they ruled in favor of the plaintiffs here against the NCAA. But it was kind of a half-hearted, yes, we're going to say that you're not amateurs. Yes, you can capitalize on your likenesses, but we're going to put a cap on it at $5,000, or the NCAA can put a cap on it. Right. As far as moving forward, it's odd Is this normal that you would see a case be decided like this and both sides appeal?
It may be not normal, but with so many different opinions, and so many people have played college sports that are in it now, have kids in it. Those of us who've gone through it and gotten out of it, I think there's just strong emotions on both sides of it. It's not surprising in this case that there's appeal on both sides. And like you say, there is a cap that, still she's opening a door that had never been opened. So the cap, okay, they're going to fight over the cap. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be kind of exciting. I was looking at Jameson for Florida State. I think his card sells for maybe $124, and another quarterback for Stanford, they were selling his picture for $125. Allegedly they'll be able to negotiate and get some of that money that the schools are getting using their likeness and their stardom. So, it's going to be interesting to see. And I think a lot of folks have argued a long time that, college athletes are not amateurs. I mean, it's big pressure, it's big money. And a lot of, just the pressure alone makes them a non-amateur, if you ask me. I mean, you're an 18, 19-year-old kid, and you've got 1 million people watching you every Saturday, and if you lose, you're a dog, and if you win, you're a superstar, and that's hard to deal with at that age, or any age, quite frankly.
Well, Tripp, in your opinion, do you see this going all the way to the Supreme Court?
I don't see either side giving in. I don't know the parties, the lawyers involved in it. I don't know personally. I know some of them, but I don't know them personally. It may be a test case. It may be one of those cases that the U.S. Supreme Court gets and, makes a ruling on, and that's what they're there for. Take the heat off everybody else. Everybody has their opinion, and then they come down and make a decision.
Well, let's switch gears, no pun intended, but and talk about the Tony Stewart incident, accident, however we want to term it. Let me ask you, I just got a lot of questions. Bear with me here. First of all, you got Tony Stewart, you got this dirt in upstate New York, and this incident happens. Now, the sheriff's department has come out and said that they are not, right now, they are not looking to press charges against Tony Stewart. But, is this a county issue? Are they the ones bringing the charges, that if there were charges to bring?
Yes. They would be the first and probably maybe the only people who could bring out the state's attorney general for New York could come in and overrule them if they walk away from it, and the attorney general for the state of New York believes it should be prosecuted, that he can come in and take over for the local DA in the local county and do it himself with his people. And sometimes you see that happen, or sometimes the local county will call the attorney general's office and say, hey, this is too hot for us to handle, it's too big for us to handle, we know the people, blah, 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 and somebody else comes in and takes it over. But it is interesting. I had a case very similar to that over on a dirt track in Russell County years ago, where my client allegedly tapped the guy, flipped him on a dirt track, cut his arm off, and pretty serious injury. And of course, there was a civil suit, and there were waivers and all those kind of arguments. And there was some criminal talk in that, but they never did the criminal talk, even though it was technically an intentional act when you tap somebody and flip them over, because they know what they're doing with those cars. If you hit somebody in a certain place, the car's going to react. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out, particularly with a superstar like Tony, who probably has as many people who dislike him that like him, or maybe more dislike him than like him.
Well, is proving intent, is that even possible?
Yeah, well, it'd be a start. If you're coming down, and I hadn't seen the actual clip. I've heard the interviews and stuff, and I hadn't seen the actual film of what happened. But yeah, intent would be something they would look at. Was there a criminal intent to harm? Then the civil side, is there reckless or wanton intent? It's almost intentional. When you know doing something is bound to hurt somebody. That steps it up from mere negligence, which is just a mistake.
Now, there's a lot of terms being thrown out. I just want to kind of separate what's applicable here and what's the difference between these things. Number one, obviously a man lost his life. What's the difference between homicide and manslaughter?
Well, homicide and manslaughter can be the same thing. Murder, manslaughter, criminal negligent homicide. Those are sort of your divisions. Murder is a pre-designed to kill somebody or something that the legislature has determined if it happens is murder. Manslaughter is something like in the heat of passion, someone walks in a bar and sees their girlfriend on the bar stool making out or kissing with another man. They immediately go to the car, immediately come in and start shooting. They could argue that was not murder, that was manslaughter, because it was not he did it because he was mad at the time. He lost his mind. Criminally negligent homicide, we used to see with alcohol cases, now the statutes, most of them, if you injure somebody or kill somebody in your DUI, that steps up to an automatic murder. But criminal negligent homicide can even be a misdemeanor. It can be a Class C felony or a misdemeanor, Class A misdemeanor. And it's just different elements. And I don't have them in front of me, but it's just, I would say the thing that happened, the death is always awful regardless. But the way it happened makes it different as far as whether or not it's criminally negligent homicide, manslaughter, or murder. And some legislators and some state or legislatures have predestined certain charges, say like an assault warrant. If you're driving under the influence of alcohol, you run a stop sign, simple negligence, you just didn't see it or whatever, looking at your radio, run a stop sign and hit somebody and you injure that person seriously, that is an assault warrant. That's 2 to 20. And you very seldom see anybody get probation on those type charges. So the same thing breaks down on your murder, manslaughter, criminal negligent homicide. It's basically an awful event, something happened that caused a death in all three of them, but the circumstances leading up to it were different in different degrees of intent and things like that. Well, so that's sort of a simple way of putting it, if that sounds simple.
Yes, yeah, really. I appreciate you clearing that up. Just one final question. Obviously, if they don't bring criminal charges, you would almost have to assume that there's going to be some kind of civil trial. It's much easier to prove, is that right? Maybe negligent homicide.
Yeah. Well, the main difference between criminal and civil is in a criminal is guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. In civil did the person do it more likely than not, basically. 51% on the civil side and basically 100% on the criminal side. So the difference is the standard of proof. I would imagine that there will be a wrongful death lawsuit or settlement that will come out of it. Alabama is unique in our wrongful death that ours is totally different than any other wrongful death statute in the country. Ours is purely punitive. We don't get into the value of the person, whereas you go across the state line, say in Georgia, it's not punitive at all, except under certain circumstances, but you prove the value of the person. If the person's a child, you prove what their granddaddy did, their mama did, the daddy did, try to prove what this guy's going to be worth when he's 25 or 30 years old, when he got killed as, say, a 5-year-old. So depending on New York's wrongful death statute, it's probably a value of the life of some sort, so they would have to value the man's life and what he left behind and his family, how much they're going to miss him and how much money he made and things like that. So it could be an interesting case. I would imagine that Tony's folks would want to come in and take care of that with insurance, whatever insurance they have, and I'm sure they have all kinds of insurance to protect them in those kinds of situations. I would think they would want to keep that, get that to go away pretty quickly. I would if I was his people.
Yeah, definitely. Fascinating stuff. We really appreciate Trip Walton, attorney at law here, joining us on Sports Call this afternoon. Really appreciate you enlightening us and clearing up a few things.
No, but I probably made everybody more confused, but at least everybody's thinking.
No, thank you very much.
Thank you. Enjoyed it.
Yes, sir. One more segment of Sports Call to come, brought to you by Always Money, right after this.
Ever wondered what LMG can do for you? The possibilities are endless.
LMG offers custom apparel and promotional products, any type of signage and vehicle wraps, web design and internet marketing, video production, paper products, and more. Visit us online at leemarketing.net. 3 locations to best serve you: Madison Street in Alexander City, Highway 280 in Dadeville, and Frederick Road in Auburn. LMG, success by design.
Auburn Urgent Care, located on South College in Auburn and on Enterprise Drive in Opelika near Tigertown, offers convenient solutions to your healthcare and occupational medicine needs. We offer workman's compensation injury care, and we have a certified DOT medical examiner on staff. It's not about speed. It's about the quality of care. We're open 7 days a week, 7:30 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Friday, and 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. on weekends in Auburn, and 8:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday in Opelika. Walk-ins are welcome. Auburn Urgent Care. 334-821-3221 in Auburn, or 334-749-9191 in Opelika. Visit us online at auburnurgentcare.com. Proud of our past, confident in our future. And for your primary health care needs, visit Family Health Clinic at 1456 Opelika Road in Auburn. 334-826-8951. Open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m.
It's always something. Your car needs a new tire, tuition is due. It's down to the wire. Cheerleading outfits, soccer shoes, football pads, or annual dues. Nellie's in band. She needs a trombone. Good golly Molly, you need a loan. Jimmy broke his arm. He needs a cast. You need money, and you need it fast. When life comes, money can help you through. It's easy, convenient, friendly, and fast. You'll get the cash you need the day you need it. So stop by or visit alwaysmoney.com. How much can we loan you today? Borrowers often use payday loans over a period of months, which can be expensive.
From cruises and resorts to land tours and completely packaged vacations, Rutalisa Anderson of Cruise Planners specializes in all types of travel and will create an unforgettable vacation just for you. Visit exotic destinations, Alaska, Europe, Hawaii, and more. Visit exclusivecruiseplanners.com or call Rutalisa Anderson of Cruise Planners today, toll free at 844-722-6342.
Little Cheaper says it's the summer sale you've been waiting for. It's the summer clearance event at Carl Gregory Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Columbus. New Ram truck, Chargers, Darts, Journeys, 200s, Grand Caravans, Wranglers, Cherokees, Grand Cherokee, and many more have been drastically discounted for this annual event. Get new 2014 Ram 1500 starting at just $21,488, or a new 2014 Dodge Avenger for only $14,990. Even get a new 2014 Jeep Wrangler for just $24,995. Carl Gregory Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Columbus even has the all-new 2015 Chrysler 200 in stock. 0% financing available. 0 payments for 90 days. Want more? Bring us your trade, and Carl Gregory will try to pay you top dollar for it. You might even be able to get more than you ever thought possible for your trade. Don't miss the annual summer clearance event going on now at your locally owned dealer. Carl Gregory Chrysler Dodge Jeep Rams, 2 giant locations. Victory Drive and the North Lake Auto Complex. Prices for all applicable rebates. All prices exclude tax, tag, title, and lemon law fees. Interest, if any, accrues from date of purchase on approved credit. Not available on internet pricing.
Looking for the most comprehensive sports show in Alabama? Catch Sports Blitz live from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. on Tuesday night. Join Brett Pritchard, Randy Lee, and Luke Robinson as they discuss the latest in high school, collegiate, and nationwide athletics. Tune in to FM Talk 95.9, watch live on ACN Charter Channel 80, or catch the live stream at sportsblitzlive.com. That's sports with a Z. That's Sports Blitz Live, Tuesday, 7 to 9 p.m.
This segment of Sports Call is brought to you by Resource Natural Spring Water. Resource is 100% natural spring water with naturally occurring electrolytes that support a lifestyle of well-being. When you need to refresh, revitalize, and replenish, it's always Resource Natural Spring Water.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Call on this Wednesday afternoon. Andy and Randy here with you for one final segment. Sports Call brought to you by Auburn Urgent Care. We had a great interview with Trip Walton in that segment. I learned so much. He answered a lot of my questions. He said he confused everybody. There's a lot to it, and the law obviously is complicated. But, one thing that he did mention, and, there's a big difference between criminal investigations and civil or lawsuits and civil. But when he started talking about what they'll try to prove is, the worth. And how that has got to be one of the most uncomfortable and, surreal experiences trying to put a number value or trying to put worth on a human life. How many friends did he have? Did he have a family? How much money did he make? And was he a productive member of society? What is human life? What is it worth?
You're exactly right. And when you look at a driver like that, did he have aspirations of being on the NASCAR circuit? And what does a driver make on average on a NASCAR circuit if he's on 20 or 25 years? I couldn't imagine where he started with that, but such a sad situation. And I don't think we've heard the end of it. we have heard the end of the Donald Sterling story, so we can close out here, and this will be the last time that we'll bring it up. Don't feel bad for old Donald. He got him a couple of $1 billion in the deal, but Los Angeles, the Clippers organization, and I think NBA for a whole is much better off here. Still doesn't change the fact exactly what I said. It is a weird, weird case that you can be in the privacy of your own home and have someone tape you, audio tape you, and you not know it, and it be against the law in the state of California, and yet it takes an asset away from you. Does it change that I don't think too highly of Donald Sterling, but it is a weird case nonetheless.
Yeah, and it's even weirder that you, make racist comments in the presence of your mistress on that she's taping you when you don't even know about it, and all you get out of it's $2 billion. So like you said, it's hard to feel sorry for him. And it's just this story and this lawsuit will be looked back on, and I'm sure talked about and referenced for years to come. Well, it happened to Donald. This is the way that turned out. So. I'm sure it's just everybody's glad it's over.
Make sure to go out there and find us on social media. If you're looking for an interview, we had Brian Matthews on in the first hour, Trip Walton in the second. We hope to have a lot more guests, hopefully a couple each day that we're on the program. If you're looking for that interview, you didn't hear it, but you'd like to tune us back in, you can, in case you didn't miss it, you can find those on social media, and we'll pass those along each and every day. And we appreciate our guests. If you've got recommendations, if you've got ex-players or someone you'd like for us to reach out to and have on the program, we'll definitely do that.
Yeah, I remember talking to two players from the 70s, and both of them, I think, referenced that I didn't think people remembered that far back. We want to talk to people that played on those teams in the 70s and 60s. We'd love to bring former players from that era back on and let them talk about their experiences from Auburn.
Also, live video stream each day that we're on the program. You can find that at sportscallauburn.com. YouTube is where you can go and tune in also to those video streams and audio streams that we're able to catch up with many of our guests.
Sports Call brought to you by Always Money and Auburn Urgent Care. Thank you so much for listening today. For Randy Lee, my name is Andy Graham saying so long for now. We'll talk again soon.